Alright, so I think I was done with the actual particle like structure to show you. It's not much because I had to redo it completely, and it's small. There's not much to show. However, I can actually show a demo, and I actually have some stuff to say about it. But before that, I'll go through to clean up just to show it works. Um, so the biggest thing would be over here, particle bursts, particle first. They go to show it's deleting the particles, deleting the emitters, deleting the burst pool. In the particle effect manager, it deletes the effects, and then in the particle bursts, it deletes the array. So let's make two emitters. Oh, whoops. Oh boy. Hold on. I forgot to do. I was checking how many particles I can get without the render call. There it is. So let's go through this again. Particle bursts. Make sure I delete the particle array. Particle emitter. Make sure I delete. Well, that's returning stuff. So there's nothing to see over here. In the particle effect, make sure the emitters are being deleted properly. Make sure the burst pool is being called. Actually, you can do that by calling here. Check this part. Check that deletion. And then let's do some effects. So I'll make 3 emitters. So that's 1, 2, that's 3 emitters. And once I exit, it's going to go through the first effect deletion. It's going to have to delete this. So particle burst, it's going to delete and then it goes in, deletes the particle array, continue, and goes checking, and with that it deleted the actual particle array. Goes to the next effect, boom, next effect, emitters, next effect, and I think I had like 4 effects, and that's it. So it goes through everything, and I did something I didn't show right now that I really just didn't want to do because it was tiring. As you can see, I had this size of particle burst, so I actually went through the memory window at deletion. So here I'd be like, what I did was particle burst array, check over here. And then with that, I would know the size of it, 160. So 160 times, what is it? 160 times, I don't remember. So I'll do 160. I did 160 times the number of bursts that would be in the array. Converted that to hex and added onto this value and make sure it was read all the way down to that value. It does do that, so memory, I'm confident, is being properly deallocated at deletion. So that's that. And what I wanted to talk about, something I noticed was because I redid this, right, and it's so much simpler. There's so many less stuff that's happening, and I did all of this thinking, with this I can create any effect. And I can do it easily. I can make it streamlined, and I can make it so you can like parse a text file and do this really easily. You know, I have this like combo, atomic, I have these handlers, timed emitters, everything strategied out. I thought I was hot shit. Like, it felt like, you know, honestly, I thought it was good. I thought it was this decent design, right? But the thing is, every time I made an effect in this, like when I was trying to make this laser thing, making this effect took me like making it work properly, as in setting up all the effect parameters and making sure the bursts were happening properly. That took me like a full hour. Getting this thing to work, this took me like 45 minutes. And getting this thing to work took me like 3 hours. And that was mainly because I just couldn't figure out. That was when I didn't really understand particles, right? So granted, when I was doing this part, a lot of inexperience, right? But even then, it took a really long time to just get stuff to work. But now with this design where every effect owns its own burst, it's very custom. Every burst is customized to an effect, and every emitter is also linked to an effect directly. With that, creating an effect became just a matter of making sure that these the initialize, like the inits, and the update draws were just generically correct for this kind of shape, right? As long as that was correct, it should be as long as these were just generically what I would think. All I needed to tweak were these values, and I got all sorts of effects, right? Like, so here's me. That's an explosion effect. That's two different spray effects, and making those two effects is taking me like maybe 5 minutes of just fidgeting around with parameters. I didn't have to touch any of the bursts, and it's a cool looking effect. It looks like an explosion. Well, it looks like a voxel, like pixely explosion. I have this thing I made just in just I don't know, I call this confetti, emitting. Just emitting non-stop things going in all directions. This took me like 5 minutes, and this was the first effect that I actually tried to make. And then this got me. And then when I was like tweaking with angles, I was like, oh, I can make it look like water spouts. This took me, I don't know, like 5 minutes. 5 minutes to do, get the things working properly. Like, point is, these effects look so much better, right? And so much better. The code is cleaner, and actually getting it to work to make pretty things happen was much easier. So, point is, you're right, I'm wrong. Good design is always better. So yeah. But as I said, even though I think my design of my system is more up to par now, it makes more sense, it's not very performance-wise, it's kind of still shitty. Right now my cap is, I think, like 2 of these, so like 15K particles, and I teeter around exactly 30 FPS, which is enough for like the kind of game we would aim for in this sort of engine, which is more than enough for this. But in terms of an actual particle system, it's so bad. And along with that, if I take out this render call, right? If I take out this render call, it like you said, it does shoot up quite a bit. So it does shoot up quite a bit, but even yeah, that's the assert I told you about with the max bursts. So even with this, at around 45K. Oh, that's weird. All right, you know what? I'll just set part make that like 200. So yeah, so around like 45K, so one more. So around 45K, that's when I hit 30. And I mean, that's a lot of particles, but that's still really just not that good. Even if it was actually rendering, now at that point it'd be acceptable, I would think. Possibly even still pretty bad at that point. But I honestly, the best I could do was getting like an extra 2 FPS at 18K there by pre-computing stuff. Like this particle emitter thing, this saved like 2 2 frames per second at 18K. And just restructuring it as a whole actually saved a whole bunch of frames per seconds, like efficiency. As I said, I think around like 2K, 3K better. Like I can do like 2 to 3K more before it starts hitting 30 FPS now. But yeah, still not that good. At least according to like the articles and research I've done. Then again, the stuff I've read, a lot of it is optimized with further optimized with with proper data alignment, SIMD. Some of them use threads. A lot of them use and also a lot of the things I've read were pure graphics applications, not actual game engines. So there's no other thing clogging the loop as well. So that might be a thing. But yeah. But that's where I'm at. I gutted it, redid the particles. Now I think it's at a decent place. Not happy with it though. I was expecting to be able to get much more done. But look at this. It's so pretty. It's like, oh, this is all I wanted. This is all I wanted. Okay, it's like little dust particles. It looks natural with their own kind of accelerations and whatnot going downwards. This just looks weird, but this is mainly for particle profiling. So yeah, that's all I could do within the allotted amount of time. That's it, and I'll turn this in, and I'll work on the write-up. Yeah.